Hey everybody, Happy New Year. It's SD1 here. So normally I make the Millionaire parody videos. One thing I've been kind of busy with at the moment, that's why you've not really seen any new videos, is making PowerPoint games for Millionaire. So far, I've actually made 4. I've made one that's based on the clock era in America, one based on the classic era, the Ray format, and what I'm most proud of at the moment is the shuffle era, and that's the one I'm going to show you today. So essentially, it's a PowerPoint file, but it's all run by code. So there's a code here that changes the questions for you. It changes the order, meaning that every time you run it, you get completely new questions. So 15 brand new questions, well, 14 in the shuffle, but brand new questions. And the shuffle one's the most complex. But I'll just give you an idea of how it works. I've got a list of questions here. So I think I've got about over 6,000 different questions from, most of it's from, say, the Wikia, from 100 all the way up to 1,000,000 different difficulties. So the way the shuffle one works at the moment is you've got all your possibilities, and we're doing it with random values instead, and we can triple money and double money just to make it a bit more fun. If you want more realistic, we can still go realistic. I mean, this one here would triple the 35,000 into 105,000. Blah, blah, blah. Boring. Let's actually start the game itself, because, that's where the fun happens. So it takes a while for us to get to the money tree bit, just because there's a lot going on. Essentially, with all of my PowerPoints, I put it all on one slide. So there's pros and cons. The con is, well, there's only one con, which is it just takes a while to get the slide loading. But once that slide's ready, essentially the whole thing just runs like clockwork. So everything goes on the slide. It means it takes a while to put it all together, but it makes things so easy. It means if you use a lifeline, that lifeline is just crossed out for the whole game. There we go. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. So, as I said, we get random values. I can make it so it is just the normal values you get from the shuffle, but I think it's quite fun if it's random values. And then it's going to shuffle those up for us. Who knows? Pounds instead of dollars, because, well, I use pounds. Could be gems as well. We can make it like they do on the parodies. These are categories. They're going to get shuffled too. The original order was a random order, so it doesn't necessarily mean that degree decoder is the trickiest one. They could be in any order. We've got our Ask the Audience, and we've got 2 jumps. Now, that was really tricky to do as well. You'll kind of see why the jumps were really tricky later on. So we've got 2 double money questions and a triple money question. Just because for fun. Like, they used to do double money weeks on the shuffle format, where it's just like 1 question doubled. But, it's not real money. It makes it a bit more fun. Because the potential is to go above 100,000, this has had to change from 100,000 to 200,000. This is now 350, just to make it a bit more worthwhile, thinking, I'm risking 175,000 to win 50 grand. Is it worthwhile? But, it's to try and incentivize you to go that extra step. We'll see how far we get. Sometimes I can do quite well, sometimes I do rubbish. Let's see how I get on today. An embarrassing fact that someone wishes to keep secret is known as a skeleton in the freezer, closet, basement, or filing cabinet. I believe that would be closet. Hope I'm right. And I am, yes. This is worth... that's a bit rubbish. Is that all? Rubbish. Also, that was quite an easy question. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be worth low money. It's completely random. An easy question could be worth a lot of money, whereas a very tricky question could be worth, say, 100 quid. Which of these abbreviations represents a qualification achieved in higher education? TBC is funny. I think that would be... GBH is also quite funny. I think that would be PhD. Let's see how much this question is worth. Okay, I'll take 5,000. And as I say, it just adds it on to the bank total as well. So Now we've got a double money question. Okay, rubbing my fingers together for this. Could be worth any of these. Hopefully 35. That'd be quite nice. Then I get 70 grand. By what other name is the rook known in chess? Castle, chateau, palace, or tower? I think that would be a castle. Yes! Right, let's see how much this is worth. Nice. So 40 grand, and you're allowed to take half of that. So essentially, I've got 20 grand now. I could just leave with 20 grand. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Whippet Wonder. At cross, the Whippet is shown in which breed group? Now, I think I know this one. I think it's a hound. But it's one of those ones where, you know, you've got this money. Do you want to risk it? I mean, it's not real money, is it? But do I want to risk that money? I mean, it is a hound, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's a hound. Do I take the risk? Yeah, because it's like a type of greyhound. It's crossed with a greyhound and something else. I'm gonna go hound. Yes. This is worth. Oh. All that for 100 quid? Are you joking me? All that for 100 quid? Ugh, rubbish. Okay. Well, double money again. Let's see. Hopefully that's 35. Well, actually, no. We want to save 35 for triple money. Let's say 15. Fingers crossed. Which historical figure banned Christmas festivities in England? I think that was Oliver Cromwell. And considering it's an option is hopefully a good sign. Yes! Right. Come on. Come on. Big money. Big money. Nice. Yes. It was quite a muted reaction, but no, I genuinely didn't know. I mean, that's actually really fortunate that our double monies have been those two. If it turns out the 35 is triple. This is another reason why this is 200. It doesn't necessarily mean that. It kind of works out the highest possible. And then if, say, because you don't want to go for 100 grand if you've already got, say, over 100 in the bank. So it works out the highest possible, and then it goes up. So that could be worth 100, 125, 150, 200. And then these get judged accordingly based on that. Frozen water. What is formed when water it's so tricky. I don't know this one. What do you mean you don't know? Are you stupid? I mean, technically you could say snow when rain freezes, but I think I will go for ice. This is quite a bad. I think this is one of my questions where so they didn't all come from the wiki actually. Some of these came from the games. Let's go for ice. This came from one of the games, and I think it only had one correct answer. So AI has come up with 3 other answers, except the problem is those other 3 answers are quite similar. Whereas I'm sure in the actual thing, the options were like fire and wind, or something that's obviously not. Anyway, this is worth 3 grand. Okay, I'm doing quite well actually. I don't normally do this well, to be honest. Normally have to use a jump by then, and again, I suppose you're gonna kind of want me to use a jump or a lifeline, then you get to see how they work. But rock siblings, what are the names of the brothers in the pop group Oasis? So I know this one. They're not very nice people, and they're Glory fans as well, which is a bit problematic. And oh my goodness me, they got Noel Gallagher to do commentary on on one of the Man City games on TNT. I mean, they lost, which was great because it wiped the smug smile off his face. I mean, obviously you can't see them because they're doing commentary, but it was, this isn't very good, is it? Today wasn't going to be the day. That's more Liam. That's the whiny one. But anyway, we'll go with Noel and Liam. Okay. I mean, this is actually really good. This hopefully the 35 grand is the one. Oh, not very. The question doesn't fit. Sometimes the questions don't fit in the boxes. I want to try and get like a condensed conduit font so that if the question's a certain length, it will just compress it for us. Directed by Kenneth Branagh and released online in 2020, the film Artemis Fowl is based on a children's book by which writer? So I don't actually know this one. So we could use a lifeline. Now, I've also added the crystal ball lifeline too. You can turn this off, but it's quite a fun one because it's going to help me determine whether I jump or whether I ask the audience, because it'll tell me what the question's worth. So we shall see what's in the future. £7. Is it worth playing for £7, or should I just jump it? This looks like it's probably an easy question, so the audience might know it, whereas the audience don't know harder ones. But you know what? I think I will ask the audience, even though, yeah, you know what? So it was kind of a waste of a crystal ball, but never mind. Plus, well, £7 is quite a good bit of money, so you know that I could do with that in my bank. Oh, they didn't know it. Ah. Well, it's definitely not D or B. Sorry. To jump. It's a waste of a ask the audience. There's £7 gone to waste. Okay, well, never mind. Plus, you know, I've 76,100 still quite good. So £35. Hopefully the next question's worth £2 then, because then I can triple them. Well, actually, to be fair, it doesn't really matter either way. If I get 35 on the next one, I'm over 100, and I can walk away with 50. Worst case, if you get to round 2, you get to keep the whole bank. So you know, I'm happy either way. Which type of book is a written account of a person's life by another? So this is probably another one where AI has done the options, because autobiography and biography are very similar options, although autobiography is written by the person themselves. So we'll go with biography. But yes, right now I don't know what's better for me, 35 or 2. I mean, it means we've not got it right away, but we're going to triple 35. That means the next question's worth over £100. That's amazing. It's insane. So as I say, it took a lot of work, because as you can see, these actually add up to make the 78,100. So I'll show you afterwards. There's this big thing where it works out every single possibility when you jump. As soon as you jump, it kind of changes. It's almost like shifting to another dimension. Like, you know, like when you change and you go to a parallel world where you jump that one, and it just kind of shifts you over to that version. And so there's like 55 different scenarios involving the jumps if you use 2 jumps in the first round. And so this is one of 55 that it's showing us now, where we use the jump on the 8th question and none of the others. But anyway, triple money, £35. That's 35 times 3, £105. That's hopefully it's I don't have to jump it. I don't know this. I don't know this. Oh, otherwise I could have. Oh, I'll have to jump it, but that's 100. It's £100. Well, oh. But I mean, if I jump, I get to round 2 anyway. But that's annoying that I don't know this one. But I've got no clue. Maybe D? No, I'm not going to risk it. If I'd had to guess, maybe I'd guess D. Ah! No. Okay. Crystal ball's disappeared now because, you know, you can only use it on the first 9. So that was worth £35. Oh, the other thing I forgot to say as well, you get the da-da-da-da-dun or dum. That's also determined. It's kind of, it hides the other 2. So that each question's got all 3 possible noises and it hides them all. This one would have just given us a thumb, because it's round 10 and we know what's behind it. Whereas the other ones, it's exciting because it could be, what could it be? Who knows? But that's annoying to jump over that. What would that be? That would be 105 extra. That would put us on 100 and that would have been 183,000. But next question worth 200 grand, so it's worthwhile. Also, that's so rare that the top three all get doubled or tripled. It doesn't always work like that. In fact, I've done a game before where I think like the bottom ones get doubled and tripled. So, we had potential to make quite a lot of money there. But, even so, we've made it to round 2. So, that's exciting. Anyway. For £200,000. On which of these Spanish costas is the resort of Benidorm? I mean, the other annoying thing, and this is what a lot of people critiqued about the shuffle format, is the lack of lifelines. I mean, you get 3 lifelines, but only one of them actually helps you. I mean, here we had 4, but again, only one of them's actually helpful. The other 2 just jump. Now, people critique that. I actually quite like the jumps, because actually, I mean, the jumps, if anything, is the most useful lifeline, because you've cleared that question. That question is gone. Like, that's everything you could want. Essentially, it almost, you don't get the money for it, but it's like a tell me the answer lifeline. It's, so I didn't really mind the shuffle format. They didn't have it in, I think they only had it in America. They didn't go anywhere else. But, I'd have watched that. Anyway, I think it's either Blanca or Del Sol. But, again, I could have added maybe a 50-50 or a double dip. But it makes the game more tricky. And also it's not more tricky, obviously, but more tricky to add those lifelines in. Plus, there aren't any noises for them. I think it's Blanca, but let's go for it. Yes! Okay, 200 grand. What number is denoted by the prefix dodeca? That's 12. So like a dodecahedron has 12 faces. Yes! Not 250,000, 350,000. So, in the end, it didn't actually really matter jumping over that last question. Right, 500 grand, 500,000. I'm actually, I'm quite impressed with what I'm doing, actually. I don't know. I know this one too. The answer to this is Belarus. Yeah, well, I didn't know Pinsk, but Minsk is the capital. A lot of people think it's in Russia, Minsk, but it isn't. But I never heard of Pinsk, but that's quite funny how you got Pinsk and Minsk. But let's go with Belarus, please, Chris. Oh. Right, we're actually going to go for 1 million. That's amazing. 500,000 there. Am I going to do it? Which English king was victorious at 1415's Battle of Agincourt? Well, I know his name was Henry. I think it's Henry VIII. I don't know if I want to risk it though. Maybe I'll just walk away. By the way, the question lifelines, they work for the 11, 12 and 13 question, but they won't work for this. If I still had them, I wouldn't be able to use the jumps. I would be able to ask the audience though, except it wouldn't be very useful because the audience generally don't know the answer to £1 million questions. They're normally between about 15 and 40% is what it was programmed to be. I think it is Henry II, but unless that was too... Yeah, I think well, I mean, Henry VIII was in the 1500s, so could there have been? So maybe it is a later Henry. Maybe Henry II was like 1300s. The answer is I don't know. I could go Henry II, and I could potentially get a £1 million win, but I think I'll got £500,000. I might take that, It's either Henry II or Henry V, but I don't think it was any of the Henrys. It was Henry V. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't risk it then. Yeah, I think Henry II was a bit earlier. I think he was like 1300s. But anyway, the other thing is, it doesn't really matter, I suppose, but it doesn't really work out because there's so many possibilities of how much money you could have. And that was quite a lot to do. So a little bit lazy, but it just says full bank, which was £500,000. So, I'll take that. I think I've done very well. So, as was said before, this here works out every single possibility. In fact, this is probably for the game we've just played. It was actually, yeah. So every single possibility. So I jumped on question 8 and 10. That's how much I could have had there. 183,100, or if I hadn't jumped at all, 190,000 in round 1. The one we went to was jump on 8 and 10, so it's this possibility. This one here, we finished on 78,100. So it kind of went for this timeline, but it just kind of uses. It kind of amalgamates all of these codes. So you've got all the timelines here, and then it just sets it to those. It loops around it, and it makes all 10 of those 10 values. But as I said, I'm proud of this. It was a labour of love, and it's something that I'm thinking of either releasing at some point. But as I say, yeah, it's something I'm pretty happy with. Anyway, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and more of these may be on the way. Who knows? It depends what people want, really.